Good evening. Welcome to the 5th anniversary Gala dinner and celebration. I'm so honored to have tonight my dear parents, my mother and father, who flew in from Israel to be with us today. Someone once asked my mother, "You have 7 remarkable children." Just to explain, they were referring to me and 6 of my remarkable siblings. 4 of your boys all became rabbis. What's your secret? How did you do it? How did you get 7 children all turning out the way they did? My mother looked at this woman dead in the eye and said, "You want to know my secret? You want to know how to raise 7 children and have them turn out to be accomplished individuals? I'll tell you the secret. When they were young, every night after they would go to sleep, I would walk into their rooms and look at them, laying there peacefully, and I wouldn't kill them. So my 3 dear sisters, they were angels, but us 4 boys, whoo, we were a handful, quite the rambunctious 4. We had a lot of energy. My mom once testified, this is true, that there wasn't a single one of her children that she didn't spend hours, days, and weeks pleading with our principals to let us back into school after being expelled for the umpteenth time. And so I repeat the question that this woman asked my mother: how is it possible to have 4 boys, rambunctious boys, to turn around their lives and become 4 rabbis? And I think you could trace this answer back to a dinner conversation we had as little children. My mom comes to the table, and she probably just got off the phone with another school saying, "We don't want your child back, not now, not ever." And she sits down at the dinner table and she looks at her 4 boys and she says, "If any one of you ever just sits down and applies themselves, and you sit and you learn everything you need to learn, and you study everything you need to study, and you take every test that you need to take, and you somehow one day come back to me and present me with an ordination, a rabbinical ordination, Mommy and Daddy will give you $10,000 cash." And that's exactly what happened. We learned, we studied, we applied ourselves, and one day we came to Mom with our rabbinical ordination, and Mom, true to her word, she gave us $10,000 cash. So, did 4 boys become 4 rabbis because of $10K cash? No. 4 boys became 4 rabbis because of one woman's statement. One woman who made a statement that was loud, a statement that was clear, a statement that said, when every school doesn't believe in you, when the whole system turns their back on you, when the whole world thinks my children will be failures, I believe in you. And if you can hear someone believe in you with a full heart and a full soul, there's nothing you can't do, there's nothing you cannot accomplish. YEHUDI was built with a belief in every single Jew. A belief that there isn't a Jew that cannot change the world. A belief that there isn't a Jew that doesn't have greatness within. A belief that every Jew has a spark, has a flame that can be ignited to become a fire. and illuminate the world. YEHUDI believes in every Jew, and if you're here in this room tonight, it's because you believe in YEHUDI. By sitting here in this room, you are making a testament that is so loud, a testament that is clear, a testament that says, I believe in every Jew, I believe in Jewish values, I believe in YEHUDI. And it's your testament that enables YEHUDI, rabbis, rebbitzins, educators, day in, day out, to spend hours and hours and hours from campus to campus, from country, from Poland to Morocco, from Spain to Israel, working to inspire the next generation, to spread a movement of meaningful Judaism. It is because of your testament that YEHUDI continues to expand and continues to expand and please God. What we saw here on the video, a dream to go from 6 branches to 12 branches across Florida. Your testament motivates YEHUDI to turn that dream into a reality. It's your testament that motivates the YEHUDI student every day to challenge themselves again and again, to actualize their own rich Jewish potential, to reach within and ignite their own Jewish greatness. Thank you. Thank you to the YEHUDI chairman, Mr. Abraham Galbet. The fuel, the energy that you put into YEHUDI from day one is directly responsible to the growth and success of YEHUDI. Thank you to Rabbi Adam Eisenberg. Who would happily go days, weeks, and months without eating or drinking as long as YEHUDI's financial situation is a success. Thank you. Thank you to my dear friends, Rabbi Shmuel Berkman, Rabbi Chaim Albert. The love, the friendship, the admiration, the respect that we have for one another is what transcends all. Thank you. Thank you to the corporate sponsors that made tonight possible, to the Tila companies, to Uri Ben Arom and his family, who made this beautiful venue, the Alfred Historic DuPont building, a reality. Thank you. Thank you to our gold sponsors, the Lombardi family, the Lombardi properties. The love and the personal touch that you put in and dedicate to YEHUDI is unmatched. Thank you to our silver corporate sponsors. It's about to get loud. Chutz Florence and Same Day Funding. And the whole crew that came out tonight. To Isaac Castle and Buha and the Book Exchange. To Meridian Capital Management. To Scopus Asset Management. And to Polaris Pharmacy Services. Thank you. Thank you to the bronze corporate sponsors, Milan Rossin and Budwick, the CPA firms of Freund, Katz, Goldstein, Young & Co., to Perry Ellis International, and to National City Bank. Thank you. There are 4 women in this room who donated and they volunteered countless hours to ensure tonight's success. Thank you, Frida Greenbaum, Mani Cohen, Gail Grobman, and Shana Goldwasser. And on a personal level, I want to thank Ma'eshes Chayil, my wife, the co-founder of YEHUDI. You are a rock to our family, you're an inspiration to me, and you are the life source to our 6 beautiful children. Thank you. I have the opportunity now to award the 2020 YEHUDI Guest of Honor, Gary J. Yarus. I think the best way to describe Gary Yarus is a 20-year-old in a 50-year-old's body. Sorry, it was 51 this year, correct? 50. Gary, you got spunk, you got fire, you got passion, you got vision, and Gary, you got a huge heart. It's not just your financial support of YEHUDI that you give, but you give your time, you give your talent, you give of yourself. It wasn't good enough for you just to watch a video about YEHUDI. You said, YEHUDI's doing some magic in this world. I'm going to travel to Poland to see it with my own eyes. And all the students there would refer to him as Gary the Elder, because he was constantly providing wisdom. How many countless nights Gary's had with the YEHUDI leadership, discussing budgets, boards, programs, fundraising, this, that. Hands-on, comes, he spends time with the students. When he walks into a YEHUDI on a Friday night, the room just busts into a dynamite eruption of Gary excitement and energy. Gary is one of the key people who enabled YEHUDI to be able to purchase the YEHUDI hub in the heart of Miami Beach. And I'm gonna end with how it all started 5 years ago. Brand new to this town, and someone said, hey, you guys wanna do anything Jewish related in this town? There's someone you must speak to. His name is Gary Yarus. And I vividly remember my first call to Mr. Yarus. He picks up the phone after listening to the Verizon tone. Mr. Yarus, it's Stillerman. I would love to talk to you about the Jewish future of Florida. Can you possibly meet for a few minutes, maybe this week? And Gary says, well, you caught me in a really bad time. I was just in Cleveland. I'm in Chicago now. I'm headed to Boston. And I'm like, oh no. About to apologize, about to hang up the phone, because I've heard this before. But what Gary said then shocked me. But today, it's no shock at all, because I realize that these are exactly the words you would hear from a man who has a heart the size of this building. Gary says, listen, next Thursday night, I'll be arriving in Miami Beach International at about 12 o'clock. If it's the Jewish people, if it's the Jewish future that you want to discuss, meet me at the airport at midnight. I drove to the airport at midnight. I picked up Gary, and our conversation that started in MIA, which continued to the early hours of the morning with some scotch in Gary Yarus' living room, now continues and continues, and has continued for 5 years. It is my sincere privilege and opportunity to award YEHUDI's 2020 Guest of Honor to Mr. Gary J. Yarus. Please give him a warm round of applause as he comes to the stage. one step this way.
Okay.
Look at the camera.
Camera.
I read to you the inscription. YEHUDI 5th Anniversary Gala presented to Gary Yarus, guest of honor, who brings to life the words of the Talmud, be among the students of Aaron, loving peace and pursuing peace, loving people and bringing them closer to the Torah. Loving peace, pursuing peace, loving people. If this is not Gary Yarus, what is?
Thank you so much. It's amazing.
Look at that.
Wow. Great. Now what do I do? Put this down. I go here. Wow. I mean, I'm speechless. Maybe I should just say thank you very much. It's been great. See ya. No. Well, I'm honored to be honored by YEHUDI. With your continued support, and your being here tonight shows us that you support us, YEHUDI's become a dynamic, vibrant force in the Miami area. I came here single at 32 years old, and I had a job offer after my MBA, freshly minted, at Pepsi-Cola. It took me 5 years to connect with the Jewish community. I mean, I moved to Fontainebleau, and I went to the Pepsi plant, and then I moved to Kendall because they said Jewish people lived in Kendall. I mean, it was a long journey before I connected. And now, it's not that way. When Jewish young professionals come here, we're greeted. YEHUDI has 6 locations, astounding rabbis and great rabbinic families, and they reach out and make people feel welcome and make people feel part of the Jewish community. Amazing, amazing. They have a devoted staff. I mean, my office is not far from theirs. So from time to time, if I want to get cheered up, I walk over to the YEHUDI building and I just watch what's going on. And these people are loving and they care and they're reaching out. And to me, this is what building a community is all about. You know, it's so important. Today, I just got back from APAC, and I was there listening to what's going on. And with 70% of millennials marrying out, we need energy and we need focus, and that's exactly what YEHUDI does. When I met Shlomo Stillman, he talked a little bit about it, but I met him and we had a 10-minute conversation, and I was just impressed. Adina, his wife, who I knew since she was a little girl, introduced me, and he had just come from England and he was doing amazing things there and wanted to bring them here. So we had a 10-minute conversation. He said, "Are you busy next week?" And I said, "Well, I'm always busy. Those of you that know me know I'm like busy all the time." I said, "Well, yeah, I'm busy." He says, "Well, maybe you could just come with us to Israel and to Poland and to Rome, just for a week." I mean, I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't believe that I said yes. So that was the beginning. I sat on a bus. By the way, when they go, and they're learning and they're studying. And I was called Gary the Elder because I was the old guy that was sleeping on the bus. I slept on the bus, and this was my thing. But they'd wake me up at all the relevant moments, and I really, really understood what was going on, and the learning and the energy, and that was YEHUDI. And man, that got me involved, and that got me to want to be part of their building. That got me to wanting to build the community and do everything I can to make it happen. And now you see, we have the YEHUDI Hub, we have 6 rabbis and their families, and it's growing, it's going. And this is what it's about. This is how we connect with the next generation. So I'm honored to be here. I'm honored that you're here with me. We're all being honored to support an organization like YEHUDI. Thank you so much.
it's a little bit bright up here, and I'm a little bit shorter than everyone, so gotta lower it. Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Sheri, and I would like to state what an honor it is to be speaking with you all tonight. Never in a million years did I think I would be selected to speak on what an insurmountable impact YEHUDI has made not only on my own life, but on countless other students' lives thus far. Everyone has a story. Each person's unique from one another. At YEHUDI, one thing they always love to ask with emphasis and excitement is, what is your Jewish story? They asked this one question at one of the trips I participated in as a team builder one night, and we were there for hours on end, hearing all of these individualistic Jewish journeys. Now, you might think this is simple, a rather simple question, but when put into context, I can't help think of the Jewish geography game, and we all know how that is. Everyone is all over the place, and our stories are completely different, but somehow we managed to know at least one person in common with Jews that we have just met. With that being said, I'd like to share with you my Jewish story with you all and the role that YEHUDI played. I was born in Pembroke Pines, Florida, into a Jewish family. Growing up, I was fairly active in the Jewish community. I went to the JCC and studied at Temple Beth Emet for quite some time. It seemed as though as life continued on, I just kind of lost touch. Overall, throughout my teen years, I would consider myself Jewish, emphasis on the ish, as my boss would say. Fast forward to 2015, when I finally started college at the beautiful Florida International University. Yes. Now, one thing that was very important to me throughout college was to make the most of my time. I value time so much, and I wanted to make sure I graduated with no regrets. I was so excited to leave my mark as a Panther at FIU because of the various academic and extracurricular activities that are offered to students. For instance, there are over 300 organizations students can get involved in. Now, if I had more than 40 hours in a week to go to class, work, have a social life, I probably would have done it all. I am not going to lie, I would have done it all. But obviously life happens, I don't have all that time. I just became so busy. Next thing I knew, it was the end of my junior year, and I just felt as though I was moving through life with emotions. If I wasn't in class, I was at work, and if I wasn't at work, I was in a meeting. I quickly realized that there was just something missing from my life. I'd been so focused on the growth of others in the community that I forgot about myself. At that moment, I vowed that in my senior year, I was going to pursue all the things I had never had the opportunity to do previously. I first went on my Birthright trip to Israel. As most of you know, Birthright is this beautiful organization that allows Jewish Americans the opportunity to have their birthright back to visit the land of Israel. When I was younger, I went to Israel a few times. No, you're good. Technical difficulties, everyone, it's okay. Thank you. Now you guys can probably hear me all. When I was younger, I went to Israel a few times, as more than half of my ginormous family lives there. I guess when I was younger, I didn't see the true value that was presented to me. It just seemed more exciting because it was a trip. However, that instantly changed on Birthright. That trip opened up so many doors for me. I gained this new sense of appreciation and love for Israel and Judaism as a whole. I wanted to learn more and be more involved in my religion, realizing that my closeness to Judaism is what was missing all along. Following Birthright, I attended a Shabbat dinner at Hillel that they were hosting to kick off the new semester. I remember I was talking with some people who mentioned that there was going to be this trip in May to Poland with this organization called YEHUDI. I was eager, I was hungry, I was craving more, so I applied to be a participant on this trip, and it made me step out of my comfort zone. I decided to take a chance, and my life was forever changed. When I am meaning to tell you that this was probably the best decision that I have ever made was truly an understatement. This trip made me be someone who is forever proud of her Jewish identity. You know, you watch these movies, documentaries, read books, or hear about the atrocities of the Holocaust, but firsthand seeing and being there in person brought up just such mixed emotions. My great-grandmother was a Holocaust survivor who saw the Nazis murder her mother in front of her very eyes. It was the toughest experience knowing that most people that walked into these camps never made it out. The best form of revenge on Hitler and his final solutions was being able to walk out of Auschwitz alive years later, proudly. When I say proudly, I mean proudly holding Israel's flag. There are no words to explain or describe how much that trip in particular has played a role in my life, except that I now felt as though it was my duty. It was my duty to be a better Jew. They couldn't live, so it's now up to us to live for them. The impact and the ripple effect that Poland had on me was incredible. I was seeking a deeper understanding of the history of Judaism and the applications to life with the Torah. One of the rabbis saw this interest and suggested I attend Sinai Retreats, which is this retreat program in New York that's quite similar as if you were studying at a seminary. The people and the learning conducted there was spectacular. I gained a better sense of Judaism and felt like I was a part of something bigger than myself. Thank you to the Berkman and Stillerman families who were both there and were so just welcoming and just provided a sense of comfort in this new environment. I was lucky enough to have Adina be my tutor and mentor, who literally personalized everything for me, and those lessons I carry with me still dearly to this day. In my final semester at FIU, I was grateful for the one-on-one Jewish learning every single week with Rebbetzin Batsheva. Not only did she quickly become a role model, yes, give her a round of applause. Not only did she quickly become a role model as a Jewish woman, but she became a friend. It further emphasized the importance of Jewish learning to me. That way I could start educating others, and thus a domino effect. I'll never forget the extraordinary feeling of being in Rome and Israel again with YEHUDI. With all the knowledge that I had gained this past year, everything just felt right about spending Hanukkah in the Old City. In the day and age that we as Jews are currently living in, we must strive to thrive in the face of adversity. We must stand up for the injustices that our community is facing as a whole and truly embrace who we are through and through. They say history always repeats itself, but it does not have to if we start with education as the foundation. Having a Jewish education is a right every Jew should have, and I wholeheartedly believe YEHUDI is doing just that. I feel as though I'm standing up here and that I'm living proof that a dynamic Jewish education will and has allowed me to pass down the torch to future generations to come. If it were not for YEHUDI, I would not be the person I am today. What I want for myself and future outlook on life has completely changed. With the hopes of learning more, I plan on one day spending more time in Israel studying at seminary. All of the hard work gone into making YEHUDI the organization that it is does not go unnoticed whatsoever. Thank you, YEHUDI, for eternally making me feel like a part of the Jewish family. Thank you.
I wanted to commence the last part of our ceremony with thanking some of the most important people to us in all of YEHUDI. Firstly, I believe that we have the Rabbi and the Rebbetzin from Tallahassee. Where are you, Rabbi Jacob Yehudas Khan? Just stand up real quickly if you can, right? I mean, the man wears a Batman on his yarmulke because he's Superman and amazing. And although they couldn't be here tonight, we'd like to thank the Gala family from University of Florida out in Gainesville. We truly appreciate them. Moving on down in geography, we have Superman himself and his amazing wife. We have Rabbi Abisror and Rebbetzin Tamar Abisror at UCF. I want to hear it. Let's go. I want to hear it. Let's go. Let's go. And their delicious little Judah, we love him. He's delicious. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate that. And finishing off the campus, we have our newest Rabbi and Rebbitzin with the British accent, because that sounds more sophisticated. Rabbi Abinson from FIU. Amazing. And Batsheva Abinson. We love you guys. Thank you. And in our millennial division, we have Rabbi and Rebbitzin, Yaakov and Sarah Florence of Wynwood, the most inspiring, amazing people you'll ever meet in your life. That's where I want to go for Shabbos. And the newest member of the millennial division, we have Rabbi Shlomo and Rebbitzin Platzker. In Miami Beach in the Yehudi Hub, they have the most amazing Shabbos. She makes the best food. I eat it when everybody goes to bed. It's delicious, right? Mamish, an amazing, amazing team. But there's really one group that we must thank. We must know where we come from. We must understand why we're here tonight. And before we move on with the program, there's only one group that gave Yehudi the seed money to start in Miami Beach. Only one group that has given us $2 million up until this point, and still running, by the way. There's only one group that has agreed not only to match our current 6 different venues, but let's just say if we would open a 7th, or maybe up to 12, they even have committed that they would love to grow with us. All of the Yehudi students, please stand up if you can, if you want, right? Let's give a little Baruch Hashem to Olami, to Rabbi Avi Kassel, to Gidon Shoshan. Give a little Baruch Hashem. I don't hear you. It's for you, Olami. We love you. Okay. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, please put your right hand in the air and just say the word Ani. And then just clap yourself on the heart and say Yehudi. Because all of us are Ani Yehudi. But the question becomes, who is Yehudi? Where is Yehudi? What does it mean? Where did it come from? There was only one person in Jewish history who was ever called Yehudi. It was a man that lived during the story of Purim. And in Purim, Achashverosh, the king, invited the Jewish nation to attend a party. And at the party, he was going to ridicule the Jewish downfall. They just destroyed the temple, and he was going to wear the clothing of the priest and drink from the vessels of the temple, and he invited the Jewish people to join in the celebration of their downfall. And posed this very difficult question: do we offend the king, or do we participate? The Jewish nation chose to participate. But only one man stood strong. One man stood tall. One man said, there are values that I have that I'm not willing to compromise. There's an identity that I connect to that I will never forget, no matter what it takes. And his name was Mordechai HaYehudi. Because what it means to be Yehudi, it means to stand strong, to stand tall, to have values that you won't compromise, to have an identity that you want to build. It means to learn, and it means to make a growing impact on everybody around you. That's what it means to be Yehudi. We have only given the Ani Yehudi award to one other recipient, and that was Senator Joseph Lieberman 5 years ago, because of his impact on the Jewish people in America. And it's taken us 5 years to find another family who was worthy to receive the Ani Yehudi award. I remember the story, how it started, David and Sheri. About 15 years ago, I think, I was sitting learning in Rabbi Zweig's yeshiva, just enjoying myself. And all of a sudden, this guy walks in with his teenage son. You know, and not just like the average teenage son, like the obnoxious type of teenage son, right? And the guy walks up to me and he goes, hey, Rabbi, we got a problem. I'm like, talk to me, brother, what's up? He says, Rabbi, my son doesn't believe in God, and he's 15 years old. And I look over at the kid, and the kid goes like this. Brittany, you like that, right? So I'm like, yeah, I see the problem. So Dad says, Rabbi, you think you could solve the problem? And so I said, I'm just a simple Jew. Come on. But I said, why don't we learn something together, and let's see what happens. So Dad starts to turn and walk out, and I said, where do you think you're going? And he says, I believe. But we sat down that day, and we started to study Torah. And what's amazing about the Lombardi family is that when you study with the Lombardis, everything they do, they want to grow, they want to make a larger impact. So it started with David and Danny, and then all of a sudden, at some point later, David introduces me to this lovely young lady, Brittany, and she's learning Torah with us. And I said, Danny, you don't want to let that one get away from you. And thank God, at their chuppah last summer, it was beautiful in upstate New York. They have a beautiful Jewish marriage. They study Torah together. Absolutely beautiful nachas. So proud of everybody. But with Lombardis, that's not enough. Then, of course, it's growing to Brian. And by the way, Brian brought me a very nice young lady that we were learning Torah with, Rachel, of course, right? And Brian, if I were you, I wouldn't let that one get away either. All right. And I'm available next summer. Okay, but anyway, it's okay. No pressure, it's all good. And now we're studying Torah, right? But that's not enough for the Lombardis because they want to grow, more impact, more. And then they bring me the loveliest, nicest young lady. And this is Brooke. And I said, wow, how did you grow up in the same family as those two guys? I mean, you are the nicest, sweetest person. But it's not enough for the Lombardis. So yeah, maybe their 3 children and I studied Torah in their office every Tuesday night, but that wasn't enough. Then they had to bring their friends and Johan and their neighbors and adults. And the next thing I know, everybody's studying Torah in the Lombardi's office because they believe in growing. They want to make an impact. My friends, the only family that we ever found that truly was Yehudi was the family that stands on the principles of impact, of growth. David and Sheri, what you do is not for yourself. It's for your family, it's for your children, and it's for all of your friends and your whole community. And it's so special because now that you have learned, you have spread this to so many more people. And what's amazing is it doesn't matter what you observe or how religious you are. Everybody can study Torah. It's for all of us. We can all be inspired, we can all learn, and we can all grow. Everybody please get ready to stand up and put your hands together for the second recipient of the Ani Yehudi Award. Please welcome David and Sheri Lombardi. Okay, so if we can see, I can't fully see the Ani Yehudi. This is the 5th anniversary gala, and this is the Ani Yehudi Award presented to David and Sheri Lombardi, who bring to life the words of the Talmud. There are 3 crowns: the crown of Torah, the crown of priesthood, and the crown of royalty. But the crown of a good name is the greatest of them all. David and Sheri, you have the crown of a good name. Thank you guys so much, and Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
Okay, you got this? All right. And if you just take one picture together, that would be amazing.
Thank you all very much for this great honor. Did you hear the one about the honoree who left his speech home? This was me when I got here this evening. And the rabbi just filled in about half of what I was going to say with our story of Daniel. But we're really honored to be recognized as Ani Yehudi, I am a Jew. Sheri and I have always enjoyed being Jewish, and we always tried to instill that in our children. I know a lot of you are thinking, Lombardi, was vernommen is das? Right? Right? Is he really a Jew? And yes, in fact, I am. My mother was an amazing Jewish woman who raised me alone. She worked for Israel Bonds for over 25 years. And she would really have enjoyed tonight. She's looking down, smiling, I'm sure. She taught me that you have to be a strong Jewish advocate and support the state of Israel. The Jewish people, we're an amazing people. We're a resilient, incredibly brilliant people, and nowhere is that seen better than in the state of Israel. The accomplishments since the late 1800s in the state of Israel in medicine, in agriculture, in defense, Iron Dome, in high-tech ways. Israel is now a player in dozens of countries all around the world. This from this little tiny Jewish state. The other thing that's amazing to me tonight, as I look around the room, many of us you got Orthodox, you've got Reformed, you've got Conservative, but what we are is we're a people who just happen to share a religion. And, we all do it our own way, but I think it's more important than ever that we come together in this day and age and support each other as Jews. With anti-Semitism we're seeing on college campuses, this is why YEHUDI is so important to us and our family. And we want to see them grow. And I think their 2020 goal is to open another outpost on Brickell Avenue. And they've told me that it's about $250,000 to establish a new outpost. And Sheri and I would like to seed that with a $20,000 commitment tonight. I hope I'm doing okay, because I'm not reading a thing. But we're all wearing these lariats by your heart. Everybody have this? If you dig into the plastic sheathing, there is a pledge card. I know most of you sat on a pen when you arrived in here, and I hope you will join us in supporting them and make a donation towards that goal. I think what they do is incredible. They spread light around the state of Florida. They help Jews stay in touch with Judaism. Nowhere have we seen this more relevant than the story the rabbi told about our son Daniel. And then he brought his friends in. Today the intermarriage rate is incredible. And I think a lot of it has to do with Jewish kids are not feeling comfortable with being Jewish, or they don't have that little spark. And I think YEHUDI and the rabbis and rebbitzins create that spark. So again, I want to thank you for your time and for arriving tonight. Great crowd, and it's really an honor for us. Sheri, would you like to say something?
Thank you.
Woman, a few words.
Amazing. That's amazing. I loved it. Listen, in honor of David and Sheri, that was a very memorable speech. Why don't we just actually take to heart his suggestion? So everybody, please reach inside of your name tag, which is lying over your heart. Pull it right out, just like this. Let's just do it together. Let's just do it right now. Okay? Here we go. Let's open that name tag up right now. There we go. And then let's just flip it around. And there might be an opportunity to give on the back. I'm not exactly sure, and I don't know how those pens got on your chairs. I have no idea who put them there, right? But now is the opportunity that you can make a pledge. We would love to open our 7th branch We need to get to $250,000, and we can do it. We now have the lead gifts. We'd like to thank the Lombardis so much for making the lead gift for our seventh and final branch for this moment. Okay, so everybody has that opportunity. We'll turn on the lights in a moment. You can, of course, fill this out. We would appreciate it. I believe we'll be able to get to 250 once we have the blessings of the Lombardis, amazing, amazing people, and of course of Gary, Jay, and your entire family. There's just no way that we could fail together. There's absolutely no way. We're going to be there. Next year we'll be in our 7th branch. Everybody is welcome to join us for dessert and coffee before they leave. Thank you so much.